In this video, I'm going to explore healing, define it, talk about it a little bit, and then share with you what I believe are 8 steps that we can take in our life right now, every day, to allow us to heal. Now, you know I've recorded a whole bunch of different meditations on healing. Physical, emotional, spiritual, healing relationships. And so, we have to start with the premise that we were born whole and perfect and pure. That was an auspicious moment, an inauguration. In that moment that you first came into this world, that's when you first individuated yourself. You breathed air for the very first time. You heard sound for the very first time through air. Ultimately, the umbilical cord was cut and you were separated for the very first time from the oneness, from the wholeness, from the purity, from the perfection of the existence that you had been living in for 9 months. And then we come into this world and we're layered with conditioning, with training, as Don Miguel says, domestication. And we make up all these agreements and all these rules and all these laws so that we can thrive and survive or just make it through the next moment. But in that first moment, you were whole and pure and perfect. And so multiply all those years that have come between that moment and this moment. All those conditions that you've placed on yourself, all those moments where you didn't feel worthy or whole, all those moments where you judged yourself, where some little voice in your head said, you can't do this, you're not good enough for this. Well, they didn't come from nowhere. Those are all the influences over the course of our life. Maybe our parents, our caregivers, our coaches, our teachers, our friends, reinforced the fact that we were not whole and perfect and pure. So we've got a lot of healing to do because we have been separated from that deep understanding. I'm going to share with you several steps that we can take on a daily basis to reconnect us to that wholeness, reconnect us to the memory of our wholeness, because we forgot. Or we've reinforced the fact that we are not that. So if healing is the return to the memory of our wholeness, every time we feel separated from the oneness of all existence, we require that healing because we're getting further and further away. We're looking for something externally outside of us to complete us. That's the difference between loneliness and aloneness. When you're alone, you can be in solitude, not looking for something outside of you to complete you. When you're lonely, you're looking for the other. You're craving something to come and complete you, to help make you whole again, to heal you. We need to shift from feeling separate to feeling that we're part of something much bigger. Because in that moment that we came into the world, we stepped away from something that was much bigger. Whether it's the physical connection to the womb, the biological connection, the emotional connection, or even the spiritual connection to God or the divine or your higher power. And so how do we get there? How do we bring ourselves back to that space? Number 1, we need to connect to presence, the power of the present moment. Classic yoga sta. What is yoga sta? Yoga means oneness. Sta is essentially a state of oneness. That's the present moment. That's that place that we've all come from and that we can return to through our practice, through stress hacks like 16 seconds, through introducing pattern interrupts into our day, into our moment, and of course the bookends of our day, proactively starting our day in stillness and silence and ending our day with that same level of release. Make sense? The second thing, and this is really, really important, we need to appreciate the uncertainty of existence. Not just understand it in an intellectual way, but appreciate it. That's where the richness of life is, in the stuff that surprises us, the miracles that we stumble into over the course of the day. Risking the unknown allows us to perhaps trust this moment just a little bit more. Trust that this moment is perfect and pure, and that every moment leading up to this moment is perfect and pure. And if you fail, and hopefully you will, hopefully we all will, see that as a lesson for how we can rise again, try again, and perhaps stumble and fail again. But that's the path to success. So appreciating uncertainty is so important. Number 3, cultivating self-compassion. And you've heard me talk about this so extensively. But there's pity, sympathy, empathy, and then compassion. And compassion contains all of those aspects of our existence. Compassion contains massive amounts of empathy, seeing yourself in the shoes of another. But self-compassion is the hardest one to cultivate, just as self-forgiveness, just as self-kindness. But we need to start there, because if we're not starting there, we can't really flow it back out into the world. So that can act as the foundation, a really important foundation. How do we get there? Sort of kind of letting go of perfection, because there's no such thing as perfection. Perfection is evolution. Perfection is growth. And especially in the digital age, where you can just change things on the fly. How perfect and beautiful and special is that we live in a world that's pretty much real time. So we can make adjustments as we move through existence. No one's expecting you to be perfect. You shouldn't expect yourself to be perfect. Who among us is perfect? No one's perfect. Everyone's just doing their best from their own level of consciousness at the time, and we have to remind ourselves that we are doing that as well. We need to meet our own needs of appreciation. We're looking for recognition and acknowledgement and appreciation in so many other ways. The 4 A's: attention, affection, appreciation, and acceptance. We have to start by really recognizing that in ourselves, appreciating ourselves, saying, damn, I'm pretty good. That's why I always suggest that you record on your phone the 3 gifts. You're beautiful. You're doing a great job. And I love you. If you record that, I promise you, and then just play it back, anytime you hear it, you'll smile. Or even ask someone to say it to you. Or say it to someone else and have them say it back to you. That alone, those 3 gifts can shift us and suddenly allow us to realize, I am pretty epic. I am pretty awesome. I am this magnificent expression of the divine. Number 4, and we sort of kind of get this through a gratitude practice. There's a science behind gratitude. 20 seconds a day of you putting your attention on something that you're grateful for. That's how long it takes to etch that into your brain, into your neural pathways. Just 20 seconds a day, or 20 minutes a week, where you write a gratitude letter. You don't have to send it, but where you write a gratitude letter. And suddenly that puts you in that space. The science behind gratitude says that people who have a gratitude practice on a consistent basis are more fulfilled. They're happier. There's a deeper connection in their social framework. Gratitude elevates us. And it sparks all these hormones and chemicals inside of us that elevate us. And we all want to be elevated. We all want to level up. And so it's simply starting your day. As you go into your meditation practice, asking the question, what am I grateful for? Who am I grateful for? And why? Taking stock of all that we have. Maybe the list of all the stuff that sucks in your life is really, really long. But it's more heavily weighted towards the stuff. If we can just make a list of 5 things that we're truly grateful for on a daily basis, or write on a piece of paper, on a Post-it note, and put it in your little gratitude jar. Or just write it and put it someplace. But we need to consistently take stock. Why? If we do, it'll raise our gratitude quotient. And it's evidence-based. And when we're in gratitude, we're not feeling separate. Even in a year of COVID, we suddenly look at this aspect and we suddenly realize so many amazing miracles, dreams have unfolded, so many great things have happened. Number 5, we have to awaken our most authentic voice. This could be our voice as we move through the world, our actual physical voice, or our persona. An interesting thing about the throat chakra, it's the chakra of expression, but it's also the chakra of permission. And on a consistent basis, if we can just give ourselves permission to speak, to undim our light, to be heard, even if it's just by ourselves, we're all desperately, that's what social media is about. We want someone to receive our opinion, see our post. It validates our existence. And so awakening your most authentic voice, we need to find our lane and let go of what other people think. Because quite honestly, there is no council of elders out there judging your every move, although you may think there is. And we're always guessing what's in someone's head. They're judging me, they don't like this, they don't like that. Awaken your most authentic voice. That's where creativity just sparks. Risk being you. And if people don't like that, or someone doesn't like that, whatever. And then you'll attract people who do. Rather than trying to find their thing. What I like to do is on a regular basis, the vibration for the throat chakra is hum. And sometimes it's really fun and helpful to suddenly take a long, slow, deep breath in. And let your voice be heard. It awakens your permission, and it awakens your expression. And it allows your voice to ripple up. So many of us have been biting our tongue, clenching our teeth, just dimming our light for so many years. How do we undo that? Bust it out the opposite way. What's number 6? How do we heal in a totally different way? Finding meaningful work. You may be stuck in a job that you don't like, and you don't like the people, or you don't like the work. That's okay. Bust out a side hustle. And I know, we're very, very, very busy, but start doing something that sparks you inside, makes you feel that you're making a contribution in some way. That will absolutely flip the script and create a sense of fulfillment that what didn't exist before. It also eliminates your second guessing, eliminates your doubt. Like, am I on the right path? Am I doing the right thing? Your other job could be 95% of the thing that creates revenue, of the thing that brings you status or esteem or connection to other people. But your side hustle, maybe it's a cause, maybe it's a hobby, maybe it's a sport or an endeavor that you never even thought about. Perhaps learning another language, or learning to play an instrument, or learning to dance, or learning to sing, or spending time writing or journaling. Do meaningful work. We know you could probably just look around you and pick homeless shelters, hospice, women's shelters, places where they could use your support, your contribution, whether financially or by actually getting out there and doing the work. This stuff is deep in the Bhagavad Gita. When we talk about karma yoga, it's the yoga of action, of service. And so maybe you're not feeling that your main hustle is service oriented. So create a little side hustle with some service there. Number 7, and this I think it's number 7. And and this is so important. We need to make time to rest and to play. We need to make time to rest and to play. It is so important, especially when we're spinning so many plates. Everyone here is spinning so many plates. Burnout is not a badge of honor. Exhaustion is not a status symbol. You may think it is. Oh, I'm so busy. Oh, I was killing myself doing this. Make some time. Get some rest. You know, I'm a dedicated TV watcher, a professional. But I also don't watch TV till 2 o'clock in the morning. I make sure I carve out my 4 to 5 hours a day other times. And I wake up very, very early to make sure that I can do that. But I get my restful sleep. Figure out, how can I play more? How can I spend more time? Even if it's on Zoom, how can I spend more time with friends, with relatives? How can I make a connection that wasn't there? How can I be more playful, more joyful? Which leads us to number 8. We need to cultivate laughter, because it's healing. Song, even if you have a horrible voice. And dance. Even if you don't know how to make the moves. How else are you going to cultivate them? Laugh, sing, and dance. You could do this while you're walking your dog. You could do this while you're sitting alone. You could do this while you're having your meals. But we need to integrate this into our lives, because this will return us to the memory of our wholeness, where we were joyful, where we were expansive, where we didn't feel separated from anything else. And so these may not be conventional ways to heal, but in the process, you will heal. And I guarantee you, if you connect to presence, if you appreciate uncertainty in some kind of way, if you cultivate that self-kindness, self-love, self-compassion, if we can amplify a gratitude practice on a daily basis, and I would recommend not waiting till Friday to write that 20-minute letter, but integrate it into part of your meditation practice. If we can awaken our most authentic voice, do work that has meaning, and you ask yourself, what's my legacy going to be? That'll guide you in the right direction. Someone asked me once, what's going to be on your tombstone? It was a fairly reflective question. Making time to play and to rest and to laugh, sing, and dance. These are the ways that I have integrated, and I'm sharing with you, healing into my life. And so when you're suffering, bust out one of these. If you're in pain, bust out one of these. And another very, very important aspect of pain. If we're in physical pain, we're usually sending harshness to that place. It's like, my hips, my stupid knee, whatever. This bruise in my body, it just has never gone away. If you can send it love instead, that could be the most healing thing that you could unfold and awaken into that physical toxicity, that physical separation from the wholeness. So remember, every single cell in your body is whole and perfect and pure. And if we want to live our lives with an aham brahmasmi, baby, mindset, we just have to remember that sweet wholeness that we started this existence with, that we forgot about, that we can reawaken. From the sweet spot of the universe, this is davidji. Thank you for hanging out with me. Keep meditating, and I'll see you in the gap. Namaste.